Whether the screen is visible, students? Students? Okay, unmute your mic and say, because I could not able to see the chat window.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yes, thank you. So in the last class, we have discussed about the what is a network, what are the types of networks, and then how to build a network. In the second hour, we have discussed about how to build a network, what are the key parameters, then what is the role of the protocol, what is the architecture, then what is the role of the software. So those things we have discussed in the last class. So I welcome everyone for this day 2 class, that is the third class for this course. So in the last class, we have stopped with the network structures in between. So in the midway, we have stopped. So we'll continue where we left in the last class. Hope you are clear in the topics that we have discussed in the last class. So with the assumption that I will proceed to the next topic. So we will be dealing with the network structures and then the topologies, then types of networks today, and also the activity in between. Okay, each and every class, at the end of the class, we will be having an activity. Since we are stopping in the midway, you cannot be able to complete the activity, so it will be carried out in the next class. Anyhow, in each and every class, we will have some activity. Okay, so first we will discuss about the type of connections. So what do you mean by connections? Any answers? What do you mean by connections? Students, what is a connection, Pa? I need some answers, students. Kindly cooperate with me. What do you mean by connection? Anyone? Abhishek? Abhishek, Nirmal Kumar, Naveen. So kindly acknowledge with some answers, students. What do you mean by connection? Are you there? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. A link between two devices, sir.
Very good, very good. So it is nothing but a link between the two end devices, or you can say two hosts. So that is called as a connection. So here, how you can be able to classify the connection? The connection can be of two types. Okay, so we'll be discussing the two type. One is the point to point, and other one is the multi-point. Okay, so we'll define what is the connection in a network. When a two or more devices connected through to a link, it is said to be a connection. A link is nothing but a junction, a point in which you are going to join the two entity or the two hosts or the two end devices. That is said to be the connection. It is a common pathway that transfer from data from one devices to another. So it is the way in which you are going to transfer the data from one devices to another device. So you can say that there are two possible ways in which you can able to transfer your data. One by using the point to point, and other one by using the multi-point. So as you know that point to point, you have one source and you will be having only one destination. So in the right, as I said, in the you can see the right hand side of the figure. It is a link between the two devices. You will be having a one end devices at the source and another end devices at the destination. So it is a point-to-point link. So you can say that the link that exists between these two are said to be dedicated. Dedicated means that is a permanent one. You need not to share any resources. No one will come in between you. So that is said to be a dedicated. So it is a dedicated link between the two devices. The entire capacity of the link, whatever the data rate that you are going to transfer the data, that will be allocated only between that only with the particular link. So the entire capacity of the link is reserved for the entire transmission. We may use in order to create the link, we may use either wired or wireless connectivity. When you go for the wireless connectivity, it may be by the microwave or satellite link. When you go for wired connectivity, we may use a cables. It may be a coaxial, twisted pair, optical fiber, whatever the case. Okay, so we may use the cables. Then the best example for the point-to-point link is the infrared. That is, when you make use of the television, we make use of the infrared. So there is no there is a intersection between, or you can say interrupt between you and your television when you holding the remote. So this is the best example for the point to point. The next one, multi-point. So the multi-point is nothing but you may have the multiple users which is connected with a common link. The link will be common. So you will be using a number of end devices that can be tapped with that particular link. So when you say that it is tapping multiple points, that is definitely you will come to say that you are going to share the resources, because with a single link you will be using more nodes, so that you will be using that resource sharing concept. In other words, you can say the multi-point is also called multi-drop, since with that link you are dropping more a number of hosts or the more number of nodes. So this blue color junction, it is called tapping point. From the tap, you are dropping a line to connect to a cable. So it is called tap and drop. Okay, so you are going to tap that one. That is, you are going to make a puncturing that particular cable. Then you are going to tap one connection for your particular end devices. Okay, this is what normally happen in the multi-point. So it is also called multi-drop connection. More than two specific devices share a single link. Here you can see you have three devices available that shares the link. The capacity of the channel is shared, whatever the capacity that is available, whereas in the previous case, you will be having a point-to-point, so that a dedicated line available, the entire data rate will be available for your transmission. Here, when you have more number of users available, you are going to divide the total capacity among the available users. That can be shared spatially or temporally. The spatial sharing is nothing but using the links simultaneously when they want to transfer the data. Then this also happened in a time shared connection. So I'll go with first, then you will come later. So in the cases, you will be using that time shared basis. That is what about the network structure. This is a physical connection. One is the point-to-point, other one is the multi-point. The next one, we go for the topology. So the topology is nothing but how physically your end devices or the hosts are connected in a given geographical area. So within a given geographical area, how your end devices are connected. So in the right hand side, you can see there are several number of hosts or end devices available. They are connected in a single fashion. So can you just tell me in which way they are connected? You have the tapping is connected to a common point. The common point is called hub. So if I want to connect data, transfer the data from one device to another device, how it goes to the central point. From the central point it comes to the corresponding destination user. So this is how the arrangement is made. So this is said to be a topology. Okay, so you can say that topology is nothing but it is a laid out the structure that is laid out physically. So how the structure is laid out, that is said to be the topology. So in order to have a topology, you should have minimum two or more devices to connect with a link. So that is the primary criteria for any topology. Two or more links forms the topology. A single link cannot form any topology. You should have two or more. As you know that if you want to form a network, minimum two devices are required. That's the case here also. You need to have two or more links to form any topology. There are basic four topologies available. One is the mesh, star, bus, and the ring. You can check anywhere, whatever the network that you have organized or you have seen. Basically, all those networks will fall under these four categories. It may be a mesh, it may be a star, it may be a bus, or it may be a ring. So with these four topology, you may not note the topology. When you look at the topology, definitely it will be among these four. Okay, so we will be discussing this topology one by one. First, we will discuss about the mesh topology. Mesh is nothing but it is a dedicated point to point. As you know that just a few minutes ago, we have discussed about the point to point. It is a dedicated point to point. A point to point means one to one. One node will be connected directly with the other node. That is said to be a point to point. So here we make use of that point to point link connectivity for the mesh topology. That means whatever the nodes we have in the network, it has to be connected directly. Okay, there is no in between devices to connect the other end devices. That is the concept of the mesh topology. Every device have a dedicated point to point to every other devices. Here the dedicated means the link carries the traffic only between the nodes that it connects. If I am connected to a particular B node, if I am considered to be a node, only the A and the B will be having a direct communication. No one will be interfere, so that the entire connectivity or the data transfer take place with that particular A and B. Students, am I clear and audible? Students?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so this is how you'll come to know how many links that you need with the mesh topology. So this is the simple topology configuration. You can see there are 5 number of nodes available. So if you want to have, if you are having 5 nodes in the network, how many links you need to have? There is a formula to calculate the links. So n minus 1 number of nodes has to be formed in the network. That is, link has to be n minus 1. So in order to calculate the number of nodes in the mesh topology, you have the formula n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So if you say 5, 5 into 4, 5 minus 1, 4, 5 into 4, 20, 20 divided by 2, 10. So you check that you will be having 10 links available among these 5 nodes available in the network. Sometimes in any objective type questions or any interview questions, they may ask you if you have 5 nodes in any network which make use of a mesh topology, how many links you require, or they may ask in a reverse question. If there are 20 links available, what is the minimum number of nodes you should have? So whatever the case, you need to know this formula. So one thing you should remember, we have discussed about the types of communication. What are the basic 3 types of communication? You kindly answer. What are the 3 basic way in which you can able to communicate? We have discussed in the last class. What are the 3 ways, Pa? Students, kindly answer, Pa. What are the 3 ways in which you can able to communicate? Students, Abhishek, Raviteja, I know only few names. In forthcoming classes, I could able to remember you very well. Naveen Kumar, Nirmal Kumar. Naveen, are you there? Naveen, Abhishek.
Yes, sir. Simplex.
What are the 3 ways, Pa? Simplex,
Octuplex, simple,
optuplex, then
simplex,
okay, simplex, optuplex, then one more.
full duplex.
Full duplex. Very good, very good. So I need the girl students also to get interacted in the class, Ma. Only the boys are responding. After a long time, I used to keep on asking the questions. Okay, so kindly, girl students, you also answer. Okay, so here with this mesh topology, we make use the duplex mode links. See, in the formula, you have the duplex mode links. So that is a two-way communication in which you can able to perform. So in order to find the number of physical links in a fully connected mesh network with n nodes, you may have 10 n into n minus 1 links with the network. So what are the advantages when you go with any network with a mesh topology? So we have at the right hand side, so you have a dedicated link guaranteed that a connection carry its own data. So no one will get interfere when you are transferring your data. That is the first advantage. That is, you have dedicated link. And the second one, it is a robust in nature. If one link becomes unstable, it does not affect the entire system. So through the other links, because if you connected with this particular node, if it is get disconnected, you may able to reach this particular node through some other node within that network. So that is how you have a dedicated connection with the other nodes in the network. So it does not network does not becomes unstable. That is the robust. The third case, privacy and security. When every message travels along a dedicated line, only the intended recipient sees the message. You are not going to broadcast the message. What do you mean by broadcast? There are 3 different casts available. What are they? Unicast, multicast, and broadcast. What is called unicast? What is unicast for? Do you know? Unicast means one to one. One sender, one receiver. Sender will transmit, receiver will receive. Broadcast means one sender will transmit among the number of nodes in the network. If you have 10 nodes in the network, all the 10 will receive. That is called broadcast. Multicast means among the 10, only a few will be very nearer to you. Okay, if you have only 5 nodes near to you, that 5 nodes will receive. That is called multicast. Okay, so you have 3 different casts available. That is unicast, multicast, and a broadcast. Unicast is 1 to 1. Broadcast is 1 to all. Manycast is 1 to a few. Okay, so we make here each and every node is said to be a unicast one. Okay, so when every message travels along a dedicated line, only the intended recipient means only the at unicast, the source will sends to the data to the destination. So it is said to be a unicast. So the point-to-point link make a fault identification and fault isolation easy. So when you go with the point-to-point, you can able to identify, since you are transferring only to the destination node, if that is not receiving and you are not able to get that acknowledgement, you can say that there is some fault available. You can able to sort out very, or you can able to troubleshoot very easily. So that is the case with the point-to-point link. Then the disadvantages, the amount of cabling and the number of IO ports required is large. Okay, since if you have, this is a minimum simple network, if you consider there are 1000 nodes available, you just think of the cable that you need to have with the connecting with a 1000 nodes. So a particular node has to connect with a n into, that is n minus 1, that is 999 nodes it has to be connected. Likewise, each and every node has to be connected. So it requires more amount of cabling and the number of ports. Each node may have a minimum number of ports. It may be 24 or it may be a 48 or 64. So it does not have more number of more than 100, or it may not have 1000 ports to connect with the neighboring devices. So that is a huge disadvantage. Sorry. Then the sheer bulk of wiring can be greater than the available space. Okay, if you are having only minimum space available, if you are connecting 1000 nodes, then the cable will occupy more amount of space with that particular topology. So that also plays a vital role. Then hardware required to connect each IO ports and cable will be expensive. So the hardware cost will be very expensive. If you want to connect with more nodes, you need to support, you need to add parallelly more number of connectors to add with more nodes. Then topology is usually implemented in a limited fashion. So this is applicable only with a minimum number of nodes. Then practical example, the topology is the connection of telephone regional office, in which each regional office need to be connected to every other regional office. So each and every regional office has to be connected with every other regional office. So that is what normally exists between the telephone exchanges. Okay, this is a practical example of a mesh topology where you will be having a minimum regional office in a particular zone. The next we will move on to the star topology. Okay, so in a star topology, you can see you will be having a central administrator, or you can say it is a hub, in which if you want to communicate with your neighbor, you cannot communicate directly as that of your dedicated mesh topology. Whatever the information that you need to transfer, it has to transfer to a central hub. From the central hub, it has to reach your neighboring node. So the centralized administrator will have the control over your data exchanges. That is about your star. Star means a point at the center in which every nodes will be connected. Whatever you transmit, it has to divert to the corresponding node. Each device have a dedicated point-to-point. So whenever you are using hub, the hub normally broadcasts your information. In the case of that is mesh topology, you have unicast, whereas in the case of hub, you have a broadcast. The hub normally, when it receives from a particular node, it will broadcast to all the ports such that if any device is connected to a particular port, that will be receiving. Okay, so that is the functionality of the hub or any centralized administrator. Here we will go with the text. Each device have a dedicated point-to-point. Here also you have a point-to-point only to a centralized controller, not with the end devices. So only with a centralized controller you have the point-to-point link. So the centralized controller, it is called as a hub. So the devices are not directly connected to one another. It does not allow the direct traffic between the devices. The controller will exchange the traffic. So it acts as an exchange. If one wants to send the data to the another via controller, you can able to transfer the data. It is less expensive with the mesh topology. So you need not to connect each and every device independently. So you need to connect only with the centralized controller. So the cabling also very minimum when compared with the mesh topology. Each device needs only one link and I/O ports to connect it to the number of other devices. So that is the functionality of the star topology. Then advantages of star. So it is a robust. If one links fail, then the link gets affected. Okay, so if the failed link is said to be administrated, then it is a big problem. So if a failed link is nothing but your destination node, then only the particular links get affected. The remaining links connected to that particular centralized administrator will keep works together. Easy fault identification and fault toleration. Okay, since it is connected with the centralized administrator, the administrator will be knowing who is connected and who need to be isolated if it gets fault. As long as the hub is working, it can be used to monitor the link. That's why I am saying that if the centralized administrator is working fine, you can establish your communication. If anything goes wrong, then the entire network collapses. Then disadvantages, dependency of the whole topology on a single point, that is called the hub. If the hub goes down, the whole system is dead. Each node must be linked to a central hub. So you require a cable only with the hub and your end devices. Normally, the star topology will be implemented in the LAN network. So LAN is nothing but your local area network. The next topic that we will be discussing about the different LAN networks. So the star topology, application of star topology is nothing but your LAN network. High-speed LAN software uses the star topology with the centralized hub. So this is all about the star. Next, we will move on to the bus topology. So in the bus topology is nothing but it is similar to your multi-point. So the mesh topology and the star topology make use of the point-to-point connection, whereas this bus topology will make use of the multi-point connection. So that is why we have introduced the connection, that is a link connection in the before we discuss this topology. So it is a multi-point. One long cable will be available. As we discussed with the multi-point, you have the trap and you have the drop line available. With the drop line, you will be connecting this cable. So how will you make this cap? You will be puncturing the cable, then you will be establishing a wire with the trap, with the tap, then you will be connecting to the end devices. This is how the communication established with the multi-point and the bus topology. So you will be having a common cable. With the common cable, you will be having a drop line with a number of nodes. So here also, as you know that you will going to share the resources among the number of users in the network. So this lengthy cable will act as a backbone. As the signal travels longer, as you know that whenever you puncture the cable, signals get dropped at each point. If we have a lengthy cable, so that at each point you have a deterioration in the signal. If you have more than 100 points, each and every point you may have some deterioration in the signal. At the end when you go, definitely there will be a loss of signal. Okay, so this is the basic drawback with the bus topology. So normally the energy will get transformed into heat when you puncture this cable, as long as you have a lengthy cable. Okay, so this is the case with respect to the bus topology. Students, am I clear? Is it clear to you? Yes, thank you, Pa. So it becomes weaker and weaker as it travels further and further. So when you take the single cable over a longer distance, the signals gets weaker. Okay, so there is a limits on the number of tap on a bus. You cannot go beyond a certain. What is the limit? A limit is nothing but such that the signal that's, does not get deteriorated or it gets dropped below the threshold value. If you say my percentage is 90% and above, if the signal gets dropped below 90% when I am measuring at each and every drop, or there is a tap point, if it is gets below, you should not go for any further tapping in the particular cable. Okay, so that is the threshold available. Then advantages, each of installation, then backbone of cable can be laid along the most efficient path. So when you have only the efficient path, in that case, you can go with some backbone connectivity. The bus uses less cabling than mesh or star topology. So cabling is, since we are make use of only one cable, then for tapping down to a drop line, we are using a minimum cable length. It may be of meter less than 1 meter. So it doesn't matter. So bus uses less cabling. Redundancy is eliminated. You need not to go with more connectivity with a single point. Okay. So redundancy is eliminated with the as you have the star topology. you don't have find any redundancy here. Then disadvantages, it is difficult reconnection fault isolation. Okay, so since you are make use of a single connectivity, you need to find which drop line or which tapping has the fault. It is very tedious process to troubleshoot that one. And also after completing your end devices, it is difficult to add any devices in between. Okay, so that is a major problem. Then signal reflection at the taps can cause a quality degradation. There may be a degradation in the quality when you have more taps in the common cable, that is the bus. Finally you have the ring topology. So it will be in the form of ring. Okay, so at each cases, here we don't have any tappings. Instead of tapping, you will be connecting with the repeaters. So with the help of the repeater, the function of repeater is nothing but it is going to boost whenever you have a drop in the signal. Okay, so at each repeater you will be connecting one drop line for each node, so that the signal doesn't gets attenuated or it gets deteriorated. You will be able to receive, and all the communication will take place with a ring. Okay, so each devices will have a dedicated. So each devices will be connected with two devices, either on the right hand side or the left hand side. That is the functionality or the basic principle with this ring topology. So you have dedicated point-to-point link. Here there is no multi-point link. Here you have point-to-point. For example, if we take this particular node, it will be connected with the node at the left side and the right side. You can say it is a point-to-point link. There is no multi-point link here. The signal is passing along the ring in one direction until it reach the destination. Okay, each ring will incorporate with a repeater. So when a device receives a signal, it repeats and regenerates bits and passes them along. Okay, a ring is a relatively small and easy to install and reconfigure. So reconstruction and installation is very easy. To add or delete a device, changing only two connections is very much essential. So either at the left hand side or the right hand side of your node, you can able to change this connection. So it is very much easy when you want to add or delete a devices. Disadvantage is that it is a unidirectional. So if you are at the right hand side, if the signal goes from your left hand side, it will take more amount of the time to reach the devices at your right hand side. So that is the only drawback. Since it make use of the unidirectional traffic, so it has to repeat in the cycle fashion. Okay, that is about the ring topology. So we'll have an activity. Since we come to the end of the topology, we have this activity. So I need an answer. You just confirm the we have some topologies available. You just confirm what are the topologies available. First, what is the topology for this hub connected structure? I need some answers, students. Kindly answer. So what is this topology? Can you name the topology? Star topology.
Star.
Very good, very good, excellent. And the next one, the topology is the right hand side, that is green, the nodes with green in color. What is the topology?
Mesh topology.
Very good. What's the name, ma? What's your name? Student, what is your name, ma?
Malavika.
Malavika, very good, Malavika. Mesh topology. Okay, the down, when you come, sir, you have the computers and you have the cables. What is the topology? How do you name? What is the name of the topology at the bottom, left hand side? What is this
Bus.
one?
Yes.
Bus topology. Okay, very good. So this is a bus topology. Okay, so this comes to a bus topology. What about this one? What is this topology?
Ring.
Ring topology. Very good, very good, excellent. Okay, so this is whenever you listen, you will come to know what are the different forms in which you can able to connect to a network. So when you check this one, this is how normally our labs will be connected. Have you gone through that one? How your labs looks like among this topology? Labல எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா எந்த topology யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னு பாத்திருக்கீங்களா? Whether it is this one, mesh or ring or this bus. Which topology we have arranged in our laboratory? Do you know? So we make use of this bus topology in all our laboratory. Okay, you will be having a serial connection. When you go with serial connection, you have the bus available. Am I right, students? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is all about the basic topology. Now we'll move on to the next slide. So just be in the line. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
I'll make it full screen. So far, we have discussed about building a network structure, physical topology, and we have completed an activity. So now we'll discuss about the types of network. So we can able to classify the network types into two categories. One is the LAN, other one is the WAN. Can you expand LAN? What is LAN?
Local area network, sir.
Very good, excellent answer. So we have discussed about the different types of physical topology. Can you just tell me which topology suits in the LAN network? I have told that this is the application for this LAN. Which topology?
Sir.
Pardon? Star topology. Okay. So we'll be using star topology and bus topology in most of the LAN cases. Then what is, how do you expand WAN? What is WAN? WAN? Pardon?
Sir, wide area network.
Excellent. Wide area network. That is an expansion for your WAN. So can you tell me where you are using LAN and WAN? Can you give an example? Where you are using LAN and where you are using WAN?
Sir,
You just tell me whether it is right or wrong. I will correct it. No problem.
in a laboratory, in a college laboratory, all systems are joined. So that is
called
LAN.
Okay, very good. Then what about WAN? What's your name, Pa?
Sir, Bharat.
What's your name?
Bharat, sir.
Bharat. Okay, Bharat. Excellent. What about WAN? Where you are using WAN? Have you come across this usage of WAN in real time? WAN எங்க யூஸ் பண்றோம்? Where you are using WAN? Where you are using for WAN?
For sending some messages to like other countries.
I didn't get you, Pa. Can you repeat? Can you repeat? Student, can you repeat, Pa? I didn't get you. Okay, so I will tell about the wide area network. So it is nothing but when you have several LANs, when you want to connect several LANs together, there comes the wide area network with a common connecting devices. For example, you are in a college when you have a department which is located at 5 kilometers apart, and you have another department. So when you connect all this department together, it is said to be a WAN, or you can say it is nothing but you can say a railway reservation. Okay, in which
For
you
the
will be.
far distance, we will use the WAN, sir.
Yes, correct. Okay, so you can take a railway reservation system in which you will be having it is connected with the different stations together, but all those stations will be locally connected. But when you want to connect towards the global scenario, you need to have this wide area network. Or you can say you take any corporate office, they have the regional centers at north, south, east, and west zone. So they will be connecting together with a common central point. So those point is considered to be the WAN, that is a wide area network. Next, we will be discussing about the connecting devices. Then finally, we will have some activity. So this is the plan for this slide. First, we will be discussing about the types of network. So what are the types when you say right hand side, you can see the picture. A LAN is nothing but interconnection of several devices with a particular geographical area. So when you combine all those LAN which are separated with a distance, okay. So if you connect all those LAN together, it is said to be a wide area network. Okay, so this is the simple. This is very simple. When you say a real-time example, all the laboratories will be connected individually with a particular geographical area. You can say a laboratory classroom in which all the devices are connected. Similarly, all the devices are each and every laboratory will be considered as an individual LAN. When you put all those laboratory LAN together connected to a common point, it is said to be a WAN. So if you are connecting with a larger area, it is also said to be a wide area network. Normally we are using a LAN which is connected with a cable here. So when you take the college, it is said to be a local area network. When you have a college branches with, for example, you will take a VIT, they have their branches at Vellore, Chennai, then north they have at north in some Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal they have, it seems. So if they are connecting all VIT together, it is said to be a wide area network. Okay, so that is the case. So there are two cases in there are three parameters in which 3 or 4 parameters in which you can be able to connect any network. For that, size, geographical coverage, and the ownership plays a vital role. Based upon these parameters, size, geographical coverage, and the ownership, you can call it as a local area network and a wide area network. If you have a wider geographical area, it comes under the wide area network. LAN, you have the ownership. Similarly, you have the ownership for the WAN also. For the corporate network, you have the ownership. Then size, if you have a smaller, it is said to be a LAN. If you have a larger case, it is said to be a wide area network. Then we'll discussing one by one the LAN and the WAN. So it is a privately owned and connect some hosts in a single office. With a single office, you can say office in a sense, a single lab that can be connected with more than 30 to 40 systems in a local area network. Within a building or a campus, you can have the office, building, or a campus that is owned by a local area network. It can be a simple with a 2 PC, a printer, or with some home office connected. It can extend throughout a company and include any audio and video devices also. Any audio devices like a CCTV camera or any Bluetooth device, those can also be connected with a network that forms a local area network. So this is how your local area network will be connected. So each host in a LAN is identifier. If each node, when you say if you have 3 devices, I need to identify each and every devices. For that, I should have some identification. For example, if you are available in a college, if I want to identify you, you have an ID card. Likewise, the network devices will have a unique identity, that is with the IP address and the MAC address. Okay, so the MAC address is a physical address and IP address is a logical address. So when you are moving from one college to other college, you have different identity, but you have the ID card. So that is about a logical address, that is called IP address. A MAC address is a permanent one. You cannot change the name. Wherever you go, whether you are in a SCCE, whether you are going for higher studies to some other college, your name remains same. Your name is relevant to your physical address, that is called MAC address, and your IP address is something but your logical address. Wherever you are resides, you have some identity. When you are in SCCE, you have identity, that is called IP address. Okay, can you able to identify? Am I clear with the MAC address and IP address, students? MAC address ko IP address ko வித்தியாசம் புரிஞ்சுதாப்பா? Students, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
If you say MAC address, that is your permanent address, that is like your name. Wherever you go for your studies, whether you SCCE or a higher education with some foreign university, your name remains same, that is your MAC address. IP address something but a temporary address, or you can say logical address, that is given to you when you are attached to any network. For example, when you are in SCCE, as long as you are an SCCE student, you have that identity. When you come out of the SCCE, you cannot hold that particular identity. If you are studying in Stanford University, you have separate identity. There you have a different IP address. So that is why IP address and a MAC address. Okay. So as you say that each host we have an identifier and an address. If I want to identify you, I have a label and I have an address with you. That will be unique. No one will hold same to IP address. Okay, you should differentiate those things. Okay, that is the case. The packet sent by the host to another host carries both the source and the destination. So if I am transmitting any information, it carries two valid information. One is the source address, other one is the destination address. To whom I want to send, from whom I am sending. So that is the case. All hosts in network were connected through a common cable. So that is the past case. There are two scenarios. One is the past scenario, other one is the current scenario. In the past scenario, that is a 10 decades back, you can say all the hosts in the network were connected only through a common cable. But today, we will be having the LAN cable with a smart connecting switches available. There are smart switches available. With the help of the smart switches in the afternoon laboratory, we will be knowing the features of the switch, and in the connecting devices also, we will be knowing the features of switches. In past decades, we will be using the switches, but they are not intelligent. When you use of the intelligent switches, they have the memory, they will be learning from the current scenario. So that is what the today's scenario. Most LANs are using smart connecting switches. The smart means there is some specific case with respect to smart. It has some memory, it will learn by its nature. So that is what the smart. It can able to recognize the destination. So this is the switch that normally used in the past. You will be having a physical connectivity with a common cable. So what is the topology used here? Can you tell me? Students, what is the topology used in this case? A. The figure A, what is the topology used here? Students, kindly tell me what is the topology used here?
Bus.
Very good. Bus is the topology. What is the top case? Top figure. The top of the figure, what is the topology used there?
Ring.
Is it ring? You just look at the figure.
Star, sir.
Excellent answer. It is a star topology. So each device is connected with a common point. Okay, so the figure A is used in the past. When you say the figure B, it is that using the smart switches. Okay, so we will be differentiating what do you mean by smart switch and ordinary switch in the forthcoming slides. Okay, the same thing that we will be using in the laboratory. So how it actually, that is a excellent lab we have with the packet tracer tool that we will be discussing in the afternoon. So you'll come to know what exactly the smart and an ordinary case in the lab that we'll be discussing. Okay, this is about the local area network. So the smart switch will recognize the destination address and the packet in which it has to guide to the destination without sending to all other. It means that the smart switch does not broadcast. It will unicast. For the first time, it may broadcast. Once it learn, it won't broadcast. Instead, it will unicast the packet. So that is the difference between the smart switch and a normal switch. So here you can say a host, a switch, and a cable. These are the cable tap. Then you have the cable ends available, the common cable and the connections that is taken place from the tappings. So this is the wide area network. See here you have separate LANs available. With these LANs you are connecting with so with these LANs you are connecting with this central point. The central point may be a one point among this one, or it may be a different point in which you will be connecting this one, and this one. All the three are the different LANs. It can be connected with this central point. Okay, this central point will be connected as a WAN. That is a wide area network. Okay, so you have to know what is the difference between the LAN and the WAN. All these individually will be connected as a LAN. When they combine towards an entire network, it is said to be a WAN. Okay, so it is nothing but interconnection of devices capable of communication. That is the first case. So cover a larger geographical area. It covers a larger geographical area. So we make use one of the two technology. What are the two technology? It may be using the circuit switching or it may use the packet switching. Can you give an example for circuit switching and packet switching? Do you know what is circuit switching, what is packet switching? A circuit switching that make use of a dedicated path. A packet switching is you don't have any dedicated path. Whenever you need to transfer your data, you will be establishing the path. All your cellular communication comes under the packet switching. All your landline phone comes under the circuit switching. So this is the difference between the LAN and your WAN. So it is limited in size, whereas you have the don't restriction with the size. It is a widespan geographical area across a town, state, country, or even the world. That is said to be a WAN. It interconnects the host. It interconnects the device such as switches, routers, or the modem. Okay, so it is a privately owned by the organization. So it can be created and run by the communication companies. So there are the companies they can take for the that is lease for your organization. They provide or they maintain all this communication for the lease. Okay, you have to pay for that particular connectivity. This is how you are all this wireless connectivity that exists. Then you'll go for the types of WAN. There are two types of WAN available. One is the point-to-point WAN, other one is the switched one. As you know, a point-to-point, it is one-to-one, and you have switched means it is like a multi-point, or you can say it is available in the form of ring. So we'll be discussing one by one. So this is a point-to-point. So you know WAN means connecting different WANs. So in that you have two categories. One is the point-to-point, other one is the multi-point. A point-to-point is nothing but connecting two communicating devices through a common transmission media. It may be a cable or it may be a air. So that is the case. Okay, so it may be connected to one type of LAN network and it may be connected to one type of LAN network. But these two are connected with a WAN. It may be a point-to-point. These two have a direct connection. This is said to be a point-to-point. So that is the difference with a LAN and this WAN. The next one, switched WAN. So here you can say it is like a ring. Each will be interconnected one by one. So this forms a ring topology. For each and every point, you will be connecting to other network. The other network may be a LAN network. Okay. So you have more than two ends available. You have the backbone of a global communication. You have several point-to-point. So here one point-to-point, here one point-to-point, or you can say here one point-to-point, here one point-to-point. So each and every corner we have one point-to-point. So all this connected together forms a switched WAN, a combination of several point-to-point connected by the switches. So these devices are called as switches. With the help of the switches, you have the point-to-point connections. Okay, so this is all about the switched WAN. Then next we will have an internet network made of two LANs and one WAN. Here you can say you have this point-to-point WAN which will be connected by the intermediate devices. Here you can say the router is the intermediate devices. In the previous case you have switch available. The switch are the intermediate devices. Okay, with the help of these intermediate devices you can able to connect any network. Here you can see a network is available at the West Coast office and another network may be available at the East Coast office. These networks are connected with the LAN. Here it is connected with LAN. These two LANs can be connected with the help of the WAN with the help of these intermediate devices. These intermediate devices are the routers here. So that is it is called a internetwork that is made up of two LANs and one WAN. Here you have the two LANs and you have only one WAN available. So this is a real-time scenario that exists in all real-time communication. For example, a railway reservation, a Southern Railway is connected with a Northern Railway, Eastern Railway and a Western Railway. Okay, you can able to contact any of the persons available there for, or you go for the ticket booking. Okay, so when these two together are connected, it makes an internet network or it is called internet. Okay, intra means within, inter means beyond. Okay, between the networks. Okay, so you have the point-to-point dedicated WAN and you will be having a telephone company that can be connected with the two LANs. Okay, with the regional office that you are connected. Then you can say router blocks. So if you are coming, if you are, for example, just a minute. For example, if you take, if you want to communicate with these two, okay, for what you need to connect with this central switch. Then normally the switch normally takes way to the outside network. But in this case, if we want to establish with this node, normally the router does not allow, because you know that the destination is within this network. So the communication comes back here. So that is the router blocks the message. When you are within the network, it does not, the router does not permit to flow outside the network. But if you want to establish the communication from this node to this node, in that case, it will be connected with the router. The router will take this router. Then from this router to switch, then you will go for this particular connectivity. So the router R1 routes the packet to the router R2. This is how the communication take place when you are with the inter-network. When you say intra-network, so this communication is said to be intra-network and this communication is said to be a inter-network. So this is how you need to know. Students, am I clear, students? Students, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, this is said to be, in a previous case, this is said to be a homogeneous network. When you go here, we will have a heterogeneous network. See here. So what do you mean by heterogeneous? What is called heterogeneous, Pa? We are saying that this is a heterogeneous network. Can you say why it is heterogeneous network? Students, kindly answer. What is heterogeneous and homogeneous? What is the heterogeneous and homogeneous, Pa? Student, kindly answer, Pa. Malavika, Raviteja, Abhishek, anyone can answer, Pa, please. I want to know whether you understood the concept or not. Kindly answer. Naveen Kumar, at least are you there?
Sir, homo means same type of networks.
Okay, here whether we are using homo or hetero, since we are having a title as hetero, so what do you mean by hetero?
So different types of network connected to each other.
Okay, can you say what is the difference here? What is the difference that you find with this figure? If you know, you just answer, otherwise I will tell the answer. Naveen Kumar, do you know what is hetero here? Here hetero means you have, this is a switched case, then this is a point-to-point case. Here you have the LAN topology which is connected in a star. This is connected with a mesh. Okay, you have the point-to-point, you have the switched, then you have the multi-point, that is a bus topology, then you have the star topology. When all these together put together, it forms a heterogeneous. When you have only one form of a network, a LAN, here you have the WAN available. So WAN means it is connected with all LANs together. Here you have LAN, here you have LAN, then here you have a switched WAN. So it will be connected all put together. It forms the wide area network. When you have all forms of a structure, you have multi-point, you have a point-to-point, you have a star topology, you have the mesh topology, that is bus topology, you have the star topology. When you have all together in a single form, it is said to be a heterogeneous network. Here we have heterogeneous WAN and the LAN network. Okay, so this is how we are claiming this has to be a heterogeneous. Next one, connecting devices. This is the next topic. Before we proceed, shall we go with some activity? So, okay. So, we need to remember this one and then only we go for this activity. So, with this connecting device, I have planned for an activity. So, can anyone tell me what are the hardwares that you use for your communication? The very first class we have discussed it. So, we have listed out a few network components. You cannot say few. So, these are most of the network components have been pointed out here. So, can you read what are they? Students, you just read what are the network components, or you can say this is called connecting devices, or you can say network devices. So, there are different names available. You can say, what is the first one? Can you read? Students, can you read? What is that one?
Hub,
Students?
sir.
Very good. First one, hub. Have you heard the hub? Have you seen the hub anywhere? காலேஜில் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. வேர் யூ ஹவ் சீன் த ஹப்? பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா ஹப் எங்கேன்னு? Each and every lab, you have one rack available at the top of each lab. So you will be having a small box. In that you will be having a hub. Okay, it is nothing but a socket with more number of ports. Then repeater. Second one is the repeater. What is the third one? What is the third one? Can you read? Malavika?
Bridge.
Bridge. Very good. The next one?
Switch.
Switch. Next. Next one. After switch?
Router.
Router. Okay. Next one?
Gateway.
Gateway. Next one? What is the next one after gateway?
Router.
It is called router. So it is nothing but the BR represents, or you can say the B represents bridge, and the rest of things represents a router. It is a combination of a router and a bridge. It is called router. The next one, what is the final one? The final one is called a access point. Normally this will be used as a wireless devices, whereas this switch also may have wired, and also the router may have the wired and wireless connectivity. Okay, so these things may have in a wired and as well as in a wireless connectivity. Okay, so we will be discussing all these components. So you can see in the right hand side you have the wireless, that is access point, then you have the hub, then you have the bridge, then you have the gateway, then you have the switch. We will be discussing each and everything in the further slides. We will be discussing one by one. First we will start with the repeater. So shall we continue now? I hope we have only 2 or 3 minutes more. Shall we stop here and we'll continue in the next class, or we'll proceed, Pa?
Sir,
Kind-
like plus, sir.
Okay, we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Okay. So far, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, kindly ask me now. I will stop sharing. We'll come to the normal interactive mode. So kindly answer if you have any doubt, students. So far, are you clear what we have discussed so far? So we started with different types of topologies. Before that, we have started with the structure, how it is connected with the link, single, that is the point-to-point link, and a multi-point link. Followed by, we have the different types of topologies, how it will be connected physically. We have star topology, mesh topology, ring topology, and bus topology. And the topology, structures, and the links are followed by the types of a network. 2 types we have. You have a LAN and the WAN. So how it is LAN is connected and how the WAN is connected. What are the different types of WAN? You have the switched WAN and the point-to-point. Okay, so this is how what you have discussed earlier, and we have discussed with an activity. With the proceeding with the connecting devices or the networking devices, we have the activity. We will continue with that one with the next class. We follow that activity. Students, do you have any doubt? You kindly ask me now. Disha, Madhumita, do you have any doubt? Okay. So morning I have posted a message regarding that joining in the Google Classroom. I have already shared the material. So as far as this theory is concerned, 4 members need to join. And for the laboratory that we are going to discuss in the afternoon, 2 o'clock class, we have 5 members to join the Google Classroom. So in the laboratory also, first we will have a PPT slides. Parallelly, we will be having that simulation tool. I will be using that laptop and my PC together parallelly. One for using that PowerPoint slide, another for using the tool. So that we'll have a simultaneous discussion. If you have any doubt, kindly let me know in the theory as well as in the laboratory. So in the next class, I will give an assignment as an activity. So you need to post everything in the Google Classroom. Assignment will also be posted in the Google Classroom. You need to answer and post those things also Google Classroom. The mark will also be allocated. Okay. This is how I organize the entire class for this semester with assignment seminar. So I request any one of you to take the seminar. You just kindly go through the syllabus available I need at least 3 to 4 members to take a seminar for each and every topic in any unit. For example, in unit 1, one has to take. Likewise, in unit 2, 3, and 4, so on. So I kindly request the class representative or the student members to come volunteer to take any topic. So I'll give the slides if possible in advance so that you can prepare, or you prepare by your own and you can take the class. Okay. So this is how we normally go. Okay. So thank you students for your patient listening. If you have any doubt, kindly let me know. So we'll meet in that afternoon session. Thank you students. I'll stop record.